What's going on, everyone? I am the YuGiOh Scrub, but please just call me Bailey. And before I begin, let me take a quick sip of this totally non-alcoholic seltzer that I'm holding in my hand here, because this is a video right now. I totally don't need that to cope with what I'm about to do. Now, normally I start with the YuGiOh Scrub in my different kind of scene, but I felt that this deck right here, this is what I do for you all. I had to show off the actual search on the side here because, as you can see, I typed in wind on the bottom in the description there. So this is showing me all the cards that can basically do anything at all with the wind attribute in GOAT format, because I'm obviously searching GOAT format cards only. And you guys, why do you ask me for this stuff? There's literally nothing here. When I say, like, literally nothing, see what I put in my deck, but behind my head, like, what? Harpy Lady 1, Mrs. Mindless Radiant? Like, do you want me to run Raise in Temperature or Rising Air Current? There's literally no good cards, and if I go to the second page, like, nothing. Spells and traps, literally nothing. There's not a single trap that does anything with the wind attribute. Like, you guys, I do so much for you. Gonna go back to this scene just because it's a little bit nicer to look at, but let's go over this deck profile, because as you can see, I called it Wind Warriors. So, what are the few good cards? Well, if you want me to run basically any elemental deck, pretty much you're going to start with 3 recruiters for that element. So, automatically I put in Flying Kakamari number 1, or Kamakiri, I'm sorry, number 1. It's just the wind recruiter. I will say it's one of my favorite looking recruiters. I think it's kind of a sick, like, alien bug. Like, I'd be terrified if this thing was hovering over me at night one day, or one night. But what can this thing even go into? I looked through every freaking wind card. There's nothing good. So, the only remotely decent things that you can go into are Sasuke Samurai, because this is basically a Mystic Swordsman, and Sasuke Samurai number 4, which, it's not a good card, but it kind of makes your opponent second guess about attacking, because they might just lose that monster. You flip a coin and 50-50, basically, they just die if they attack you. Of course, if you're in attack position. But, like, is that even good? I don't like having to rely on luck. I mean, again, it maybe keeps your opponent from attacking, but, like, really? It's not that great of a card. Finally, as the only other target that Flying Kamakiri number 1 can go into, we are running 1 Chaos Router Gustav. In case I just need to go into it, it is another warrior, and it can basically banish a spell card, and at most go up to, what would that be, 2,000? So, like, Get Over or Crash with a Blade Knight. It's not that great, but, I mean, I'm trying to make a wind deck work, guys. Give me a break. Of course, we're running enough warriors that we're going to run the other supplemental warrior engine. 1 Exiled Force, 1 DD Warrior Lady, and my staple 1 Don Zalug. Always going to have the Zalug if I'm running warriors, because I want to be able to rip cards out of my opponent's hand. It actually kind of goes with the card-ripping theme, but also the wind theme. This is one of the few decent wind cards. Sylphid. I'll quickly read it because you could probably never have seen this before. You can, card cannot be normal summoned or set, can only be special summoned by removing 1 wind monster. Okay, so it's your typical banish a wind, special summon this. When this card is destroyed as a result of battle and sent to the graveyard, your opponent discards 1 random card from their hand. Okay, decent. I guess it's another way to kind of stop your opponent from attacking. They'll want to find a way to get over this without, like, a different kind of removal. But, like, maybe it would be better if it was when you destroy your opponent's monster, you could discard a card from their hand, but, I'm trying to make the wind deck work, guys. I'm really trying. Finally, 1 Sandgan, because it's a staple. 2 Magician of Faith. It's not super staple, but I want it in this deck. And then finally, 1 Cyber Jar. This is kind of spicy. Basically, I think that if I could flip this and get a bunch of monsters onto my opponent's side of the field, maybe that'd be okay. So we'll see how it goes. Finally, we got the Pot of Greed, Graceful Duo, the Trinity, easy. Heavy Storm, Snatch Steal, Premature Burial, Mystical Space Typhoon, the 2 Rhodas, 2 Book of Moon, could maybe put this at 3, but I think that might be a bit bricky, but you could put it at 3 because you have the Sasuke Samurai, so Book of Moon plus Sasuke just is basically automatic removal for anything. Also running 1 Nobleman, again, because you're running the Sasuke Samurai, you don't really need 2. Call the Haunted, Mirror Force, Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute, 2 Sakuretsu Armor, don't want to run 3, also just hard to find the room. And finally, 3 Judgments, just so I can say no to my opponent's things. 1 Breaker, the Magical Warrior in the side deck. 2 Des Wombat, Jinzo, because it is another Wind Warrior, Lady Ninja Yay, by discarding 1 Wind monster from your hand to the graveyard, return all spells and traps, basically discard a Wind, it's a True Nade. Book of Moon, Metamorphosis, the second Nobleman, 3 Scapegoat, and 3 Dust Tornado, and with that all being said, let's quickly make sure I set that to the default, and let's go and play a match. Probably not going to be great, but we will see. I know enough of you are asking for this Wind deck, so I decided to put it together for you all. Like the Rescue Cat sleeves. Those are just staring at me, looking into my soul. I do lose the rock, paper, scissors, unfortunately, and what do I want to talk about while I record this today? I was thinking about that, and I know I've said before, as I say, please just call me Bailey, because I made Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub the name in like 2 minutes. I want to go over exactly how I made that name so quickly. He activates Pot of Greed to start the duel. Always a great start. But I basically, okay, and Delinquent Duo. That's fine for him. Duo and Greed feels good. I'd like if he like discards the Sylphid. Hits 3, hits the Judgment, that's fine. And I will, because I want all these cards, unfortunately I kind of have to show him running a Wind deck because I discard the Sylphid. Upstart Goblin, okay, so is this going to be some BS? I feel like most things don't run Upstart, but most FTKs don't run Delinquent Duo either. Okay, so maybe he's just running Upstart to thin the deck. That's okay. I will go ahead and start with the Duo before I continue to tell the story of how I came up with my name. So go Duo and discard that card. Ends up being a Magical Merchant, okay, and a Book of Moon. I will then think I'm just going to go ahead and, because that could be a Faith of his own, but I don't have a way to get over that. Do I want a heavy? No, I think I'm just going to, I'll set the Faith and set Mirror Force and keep the heavy for later. So, when I was coming up with the name Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub, basically, I was like, I'm going to make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. I play enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To record it. I'm doing it anyways. Might as well share my experiences with the world. So, decided to make a channel. Now, I'm a business major. That was my major in college. Finance and entrepreneurship were my concentrations. Business management being the actual major. So when I was sitting there, I'm like, well, you know what? I shouldn't say I know how to run a business. I don't have that much experience. But I was trying to think from a business mindset. So I knew I wanted Yu-Gi-Oh! In the name of the channel, because I'm trying to tell you exactly what it's about. Like, sometimes I'm like, say my name was Joe Schmo. Well, how the hell would you know that that's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel? You're just going to have to go by thumbnails and video titles. Before I keep that story going, what do I want to do here? He just set 1 monster. I think I will flip summon the Magician of Faith. Oh, did I? Yeah, no, I did lose 1,000. I was going to say, did I not know? It's because I gained from the Upstart Goblin. And I'll get the Delinquent Duo. I will then activate the Duo that I just got back from the Faith, putting myself now at the actual 7,000. And if he lets me, I'll discard 2 cards from his hand. I mean, he doesn't have a choice, so I don't really feel bad about doing either. Okay, and I'm just going to set an end. Setting the Book of Moon that I drew is kind of nice, because if he attacks, I can flip the Faith, then Faith will get back maybe the Moon, maybe the Duo. I could also just Mirror Force if I chose to. Don't want to set too many more back row, just because I do want my Heavy Storm to be live at some point. Okay. He has Faith and Dekoichi. Not Faith, Gravekeeper Spy, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and Mirror Force for 3. I think that's a fine play. Keeping the Book of Moon. And if he just ends his turn there, I'm going to end phase Book of Moon, setting my Magician of Faith. Standby main. Flip the Faith, get back the Duo. And if he lets me Duo him for another 2 cards, Mirror Force and Sangan, those are some nice cards to hit. I'm not going to heavy quite yet, because it could be like a Scapegoat, and I'll just attack. I saw that he discarded the Mirror Force. Okay, so he's going to Ring of Destruction, the DD Warrior Lady. That's fine. Can't do much about that. I've seen him use the heavy. I'll set my own heavy. If he gets like breaker, well, it's a breaker. It is not, but I do want him to set cards. I'm going to put him on a timer. And maybe he'll set more cards and I could end phase Book of Moon. Flying Kamakiri. Alright, I will normal summon. Attack with the Flying Kamakiri. So, I decided basically I wanted to put Yu-Gi-Oh in my name. And then I was like, well, what else do I want to tell you all about my name? And I never want to claim that I'm some sort of good player at Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm a scrub. And so I was basically like, what's a word that can tell people I'm not that great? Well, I was like, scrub. And so I just typed it in to see if it would work, and it did. And literally like 2 minutes after I put in scrub, I was like, is this really what I want to be known by for like the rest of my existence on as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel? And after that, I was just like, you know what? Can't undo it, so there we go. That's why I am the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub. But please just call me Bailey. Of course, I draw Judgment after he special summons the Chaos Sorcerer. That would have been awesome to get that last turn. I'm just going to put this to defense, and I think end the turn there. He gets a Thunder Dragon, which will thin his deck. If he attacks, I'm probably going to do a Book of Moon kind of thing here. He's actually just going to banish it. I will chain the Book of Moon to set it. And then, because he has activated the effect, he actually cannot attack this turn either. So that's a pretty nice play from me. I do know 2 of the cards in his hand are Thunder Dragon, so in theory he could tribute it, but he probably won't. Yeah, he's just going to end the turn. Standby main, I'm just going to set the Sangan. He can't activate any cards because... Or can't activate Chaos Sorcerer, not. He can activate cards, of course. But yeah, so that's my story for how I became the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub. I don't really care at this point. I'm just being me, so please call me Bailey, and I'm going to continue making videos, and that's my name from henceforth on. He's, of course, gets a BLS as well. And what's he going to do? What's he going to do when he comes for you? Bad boys, bad boys. Sangan will get me... Oh, where's my Karibo? That would be great. I would get myself... I think I have to go Exiled Force here. I could get, like, Cyberjar from the Sangan, but the only problem with that is you could just banish it with a BLS. So I think I have to go... Actually, that... I think I need to go Cyberjar here. Actually, I think I'll go Sasuke Samurai number 4. Because I need, basically, extra defense. Because he's going to get 3,000 damage in right now with the BLS. And even if I, like, Exile Forced and got rid of the BLS next turn, well, then you could just attack with the Chaos Sorcerer. Magician of Faith will go to the grave. And I suppose, actually, now that I think about it, I could have gotten the other Sasuke Samurai and then done the Book of Moon thing. But I don't think that's as good of a play. I'm going to get a Book of Moon anyways, though, because I just think Delinquent Duo, I'm already going to be at... That would put me at 500 life points. And he has 2 Thunder Dragon in hand, so, like, what, I maybe get 1 other card. If he does have a set spell trap here, though, that would be probably best case scenario for me, which he does not. Standby, main, just fire off the heavy to begin with. He already used a ring, so I know he can't just chain that for game or anything. It was a Book of Moon of his own. That actually would have been kind of okay for his, or my Sasuke Samurai number 4. I will Graceful Charity. Pot of Greed's a good card. Sakuretsu Armor's a good card. And MST. Probably gonna discard the MST that's doing nothing at the moment. And I think I'll discard the Judgment as well, because he's already special summoned to those, and so we can't do anything with him. Now, Pot of Greed. Okay, this is actually kind of nice, drawing Chaos Rider Gustav and Sakuretsu Armor number 2, because now I can just go ahead and normal summon. So this would put me, if I do, so flip a coin, and if it's heads, so I'll call heads. And come on. Eyes closed. I take 1100. I open them. And that goes to grave. And I'll just have to set, and set. And Topi doesn't have... I guess actually I can deal with 3 monsters, but I think that was the only play I literally could do. I don't think I had any other options in that scenario. I mean, I'm playing a wind deck, and he's playing chaos. What do you want me to do here? Win? That's not going to happen. I mean, what do you think? I mean, guess I have a bunch of back row, but, like, you can either get rid of it or you can't. I don't really think. I mean, maybe what normal summon you want to bring out here. Maybe you're worried. He hasn't seen TT. I'd probably actually just attack. I wouldn't summon anything. I'd be a little bit worried about TT. And I'll just fire off a Sakuretsu Armor there. I think it was lagging for him. That's why it took a moment. Alright. Sasuke Samurai. And that's pretty good for me. Let's go ahead and activate Book of Moon. Normal summon. And just get over the BLS. Main 2, end turn. Alright, so we got over 2 Chaos Monsters. That's what we want to do in this deck. I mean, not really. We don't want them to get them out at all. We want to win. But we did something. Alright, that's got to be a Sakuretsu Armor or something. What have I seen? Seen Mirror Force. It could be a Regeki Break. It could be TT. I'm just going to go in and attack. It's a Sakuretsu Armor of his own. I'll set the Ring of Destruction, even though... Actually, I should have banished some spells with that, but I'm not going to. I can Sakuretsu Armor. I mean, if he has, like, a Faith or something weird. It was a Serpent. Okay, so he can hit for 200. Yeah, I'm going to fire off the Sakuretsu Armor. Okay, so definitely going to declare the effect here. And let's banish MST and Delinquent Duo. And so that puts him at 2k. That would put him at 21. Yeah, because it'd be 25. No. 2,000 puts him at 26. Yeah, 21. Okay. 21. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be enough for the Chaos Rider Gustav. Because I'm like, I could Ring of Destruction and give us a tie. But I think I just have to poke in and hope. Okay, so yep, I hit in for the 2,000. And if he summons... Actually, there's nothing he could summon that would be... less than the 2,000. So he probably... I think I have to risk that being TT. I have a TT of my own. Okay, so normal summon. Is it TT? Declare. If he allows this, and I will banish a Book of Moon. I guess I'll banish the Heavy Storm. I mean, maybe it could come in handy. And then attack. And attack directly with the 2k. Do I think I just wait here. I will set the Torrential Tribute for defense, but I think Ring of Destruction, if I need to, I can use it for game. Or to tie. And I think that might be the best thing I can possibly do in this situation. discards Knight Assailant and Serpent from the Graceful Charity effect. Gets a Dakoichi. Sets a couple. Do I go for... I'm worried that it could be a Book of Moon. Because then the Ring of Destruction. I guess he wouldn't Book of Moon. Okay, I think... Stand battle phase. Let's attack with the Sasuke Samurai. Does it go through? I don't... okay. And... I will set that. It's probably Dakoichi. I think I attack here. Okay, it was a Faith. Gets Graceful Charity again. And I think the play here is end. Again, now that I know, like, he got rid of a Book of Moon, and that is all 3 Book of Moons gone. Alright, I don't think he has a way to stop Ring of Destruction unless he has, like, a crazy play. I mean, maybe he could Regeki break the monster I target. That would certainly do something for him. Nobleman a cross out. Yeah, I can't do anything about it, so I just have to banish it. Gets Breaker. I think... Do I let this go? I think I do, because it's only 200 damage. And if I draw... I mean, I can steal his monster next turn. Just making sure, yeah, no, I'm not sending it to grave, so he thinks I'm using it. Just sending it to grave from the effect. Okay, yeah, so this is what I was worried about a little bit. So he's going for the push, but I'll just tie the game right here. When I Ring of Destruction, I'm going to target the Chaos Sorcerer. Because if he goes to battle phase here, especially, because if he's trying to just have 2 monsters to attack and I ring the Chaos Sorcerer, if that is a Regeki break, I think... So in this case, I ring the Breaker the Magical Warrior. And if he wants to Regeki break, well now this can't attack still, and then I can take control. Alright, so we take the draw. Okay, I think that was as good as I could get that game. I really think that was a smart play there at the very end, because I activated the effect. If I banish, or if he lets the Breaker ring not resolve, say, again, with a Regeki break that he had face down, then Regeki break would send Breaker. I would still have my monster banished. I wouldn't get any Ring of Destruction damage, and then he wouldn't be able to attack. Next turn, I had Snatch Steal to take the thing and attack. So I think that was the best play. But now let's go to game 2. I still don't think I have a great matchup here. I didn't see many things face down, but I saw some. I think I'll take out the Sylphides. Maybe I'll keep 1 in. Let's take out... The Sakuretsu armors came in clutch. I feel like I need all the removal I can get this game. I'll take out... I'm basically like, do I want to put in goats at all? No, you know what? I'm just going to go in with the same deck. We'll see how this happens. Go Scissors this time. I mean, it's a tie, so we still have 3 games to go. This is probably going to be a very long match for you all. But I'm happy that I held up with Chaos on my own. Okay, Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity opening is a good opening, unless he's got Duo and he's got his Graceful. So let's hope he doesn't draw into Duo, even though he's a fourth of the way through his deck already. Sends a probably Knight Assailant, Magician of Faith. Okay. I was going to say, once I saw the Faith, I'm like, you are absolutely discarding a Knight Assailant with that. There's zero reason you would ever discard Faith off Graceful Charity unless you, like, needed a light engrave or you're just bad. Or, again, you have the Knight Assailant and you can just get it right back. Knight Assailant, I'm very excited. In that Fiend aggro deck I built, I was talking about kind of a Fiend control, and I actually think Fiend control has some potential. Not as like an actual super serious meta threat, but like the things that you have, Mask of Darkness, you got the Knight Assailants, you got Dark Necrofears, Giant Germs. You have some actual stuff that isn't terrible. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's the greatest combos ever, but it's not the worst. I've seen much worse exist. Standby main. Let's go ahead and activate Pot of Greed. Ring of Destruction, Sasuke Samurai number 4. I think do I go with Flying Kakamari? Kakamari, I always get it wrong. I don't want to set the Cyber Jar, because I think that's definitely just going to eat a Nobleman across out. I'm going to go ahead with the Flying Kamakiri. And poke my insect friend. It was a Dekoichi, so he draws 1 card. I'll set Sakuretsu Armor. It was a Mystical Space Typhoon, that's fine. Because, like, I would just negate an attack, and Flying Kamakiri wants to be destroyed by battle anyways. Or, you know what, I can eat up a Chaos Monster effect, which, I mean, it'll get 2 lights and darks out of his grave. Okay, he's just going to go ahead and actually, here comes the Nobleman across out. Yep, I'm good with that. Gets the Nobleman out of his hand for my Cyber Jar next turn. And he's going light, dark. Is he? There's no chance he has. Okay, he doesn't. That's, what, 3,400? Yeah. And Tsukiyomi will go to hand. Snatch Steel is a card. I think I start with the set Cyber Jar. I'm basically, do I Snatch Steel or do I set the Cyber Jar? I'm going to go ahead and set Ring, set Cyber Jar, and end my turn, and hope that'll be enough. Pot of Greed off the top form, that's a good card. What's he got engraved? Just a dark, so no lights. Hasn't seen the Thunder Dragon yet, luckily. Goes ahead and sets 1 of his own. Actually, no, he did see the Thunder Dragon disc, so he has 2 in his hand. So in theory, he could just discard a light at any moment if he chose to. Alright, I think the play here is just going to be standby main. Let's go ahead and flip Cyber Jar. And if he allows it to go through. So he's got slash banish 5. So he's got Ring, Snatch, Raigeki Break, and he's going to get Spy and Sangan to the field. So that's pretty good. I'll take all that. And I'm, of course, setting all mine. And to begin, just going to go ahead and Exiled Force the Gravekeeper Spy. I don't want him getting any effects from that. Next, I think I'll go ahead activate Rhoda. Let's get myself... Let's get one Sasuke Samurai the first. Now I think I'll go and activate Graceful Charity here. Okay, I was kind of hoping for a back row removal of some sort, but I did not see it. I'll get rid of the other Sasuke Samurai number 4. Now, because I know he has Sangan face down, I think I'm going to go ahead and summon Warrior Lady. And if this allows me to go through, I'll banish the Sangan. If he doesn't let it go through, well then, whatever. Sakuretsu armor, okay. That kind of sucks, but I guess I could have saw it coming. I don't think Mirror Force is the play there. I'm not going to let him get the Sangan search right away. I'm going to make him work for it. And I think because I have enough cards, I think I can go ahead and do this. And do this by set a couple. Alright, let's go. See what you can do, buddy. You got a bunch of cards off that Cyber Jar, which I'm sure feels nice. He goes ahead and sets 1 to begin, though, so... Maybe it's not... It's a Snatch Steal. Okay. If he wants to, he's going to tribute it right away. 4 Thunder Dragon. Okay, I guess that's fine. He's going to banish. Yep. For which one? Please be BLS. Nope, it's another Chaos Sorcerer. And if he tries to poke, I'm probably going to Mirror Force here. If he doesn't... Okay, he doesn't try to poke. Standby main. I think the play is Snatch Steal the Chaos Sorcerer. He might have a response, in which case I may Solemn Judgment. We will see. Because I really think I need this. I am going to activate Judgment on that. Yeah, no, Brady, don't go so fast. I still want you, monster. But of course, Ring of Destruction will just fizzle out. I happen to be at 46, though, so it's funny that the Ring of Destruction just actually does the same amount of damage as the Solemn Judgment. Okay, must be laggy. Come on. Game, I hate when you do this dueling book. Okay, there we go. So he gained this 23. I think the play here is going to be just attacking. And I think I'm probably going to set the Book of Moon and set this, in case I need to use it on... Yep, okay. So, what do I want to do here? Should I do anything? Can I do anything? I will chain the Book of Moon. I want to keep a monster. Main 2. I'll set another, and end my turn. Set the Magician of Faith and set the Solemn Judgment. So I still got Judgment in case he has a heavy of some sort, though Ring of Destruction is looking more and more dead by the second, only because of the life points. And Mirror Force is okay, but not that great. So I think the play here is probably going to be flip summoning Magician of Faith first. And I will get That's what I was worried about. TT, should I do anything here? No, I'm gonna let it go through. And I'll get myself a graceful charity. He gets himself Magician of Faith. Now let's go ahead and fire off the charity. Zalug's a good card here. Let's get rid of the Sasuke Samurai, and I think the Chaos Rider Gustav is probably the other dead card here. Now I think I just poke in for 14 and hope I can hit some good cards. And does he want to shuffle his hand? Just quickly see. Nope. I'll hit the middle one. It was a magical merchant. That's okay. And set my Call of the Haunted and end the turn. So at least I got some board presence here. I've kind of made a comeback. I still have a good amount of removal spells and traps in my deck. Alright, that's fine with me. Setting 1. Do I draw a Nobleman? No, I do not. The play here is Call of the Haunted, getting back Sasuke Samurai number 1, normal summoning Sangan, and just getting damage in. Attack directly. The Sasuke Samurai will stop his 24 and hit that card. Hit a Night Assailant. Okay, that really sucks for me. Gets the Faith back. I still feel pretty good, so I can just set my Mystical Space Typhoon and end. I got a lot of backup with spells and traps here. Do I want to... I think I have to Judgment. He knows I have a Judgment. He has to. I feel like I have to keep the Judgment. He's probably going to banish the Sangan? No, he's going to banish the Sasuke Samurai. Oh, because he wants to keep his Magician of Faith going off this turn. Okay, I get that. That probably... Maybe I should have... End phase, absolutely just going to MST that. No reason. Okay, good. Sylphid is a card. So unfortunately, I can't Ring of Destruction the Chaos Sorcerer because I'm at 2,300 life points. So I'm going to do that and just probably put these to defense position. He's probably going to banish the Sangan next turn. But what can I do here? I have to just wait for some other good cards to get drawn. Maybe he'll just attack and leave that in attack position and I can get rid of it with Mirror Force. That would be best case scenario for me. But he's almost certainly just going to use the effect and banish the Sangan. Which he does. Come on. I need a good card. Good draw, good draw, good draw. Nobleman. Okay. I mean, that's good. Do I have... I think I still have 1 Faith in deck, yes. Let's go ahead and Nobleman the Magician of Faith. And I do have to banish my other Faith from deck. Now, can I do anything here? I cannot. So this is where not having good kinds of removal or certain kinds of removal is really bad, just because he can continuously get +1s with Chaos Sorcerer. every turn he's just getting one more card in his advantage by activating effect. He's probably going to go for Sylphid this time just because it has an effect that triggers on Grave. I think let's go to attack and attack over this monster. See what it is. Maybe Sinister Serpent. Magical Merchant. Or is he going to Tsukiyomi? Okay, he's going to go ahead and set my Donzalug. And I think I'll just set and end my turn. That actually is kind of good for me because now he has to attack. That will go to hand. Just always got to make sure because, like, you don't want him getting a free monster on field for nothing. I probably would have set the Tsukiyomi because now he has to attack and this will give me a Mirror Force. And if he wants to push for game, well, he's got to attack with 2 monsters and I could get a double Mirror Force. Maybe summon Sook. No, he's just going to end. That's fine. I'll do the same, sir. You have to do something before I do anything. Maybe that's the Sook Delinquent Duo draw. I can't even activate it because I don't have an open spell trap zone. Maybe he's waiting for another Nobleman. Gravekeeper's Spy, which can't resolve. Jinzo. Nope, Thunder Dragon. I will... I'll activate Ring of Destruction on it. We'll each eat 1,600. But it's at least a Ring of Destruction that I can use. I mean, maybe I should have saved it so it'd be more in my advantage at some point. But I don't know. You gotta do something. Standby main. I think I'll activate the Book of Moon on that. Summon the Sasuke that I just drew for turn. Flip summon Zalug. Attack with Sasuke. If he has a effect Sakuretsu armor, I have to just Judgment this. And Chaos Sorcerer will go to grave. Now attack directly with the Donzalug. If he lets that go through, he has a Book of Moon for it. Okay. And I can keep setting a couple of monsters. Mirror Force will still back me up. Let's go ahead and Mirror Force the Tsukiyomi. And I think this is game. 19 plus 12. So I'll flip the Zalug. Does he have TT? I'll flip Sasuke. He could have Mirror Force. And I'll normal summon Samurai number 4. I'll poke in with the first. Attack in Gore's order. Make him think about each spell and trap choice. 500 plus 12. He will set that. And yeah, I think I'm just going to attack with the Donzalug. And hit the Tsukiyomi out of his hand. I can Judgment any normal summon he has. Did he draw the BLS? $175. No, sir. That is a clutch Judgment right there. Hitting the BL... Yes! Okay, this is going to be a very long match for you all, but crazy. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go in again with the same deck and just ride it until I can't win. The fact that this is beating Chaos right now, crazy to me. Did not think this was going to be happening. Yes, I am indeed recording. Have to make sure I'm doing that because I would feel so sorry if I wasn't doing it. Pot of Greed, opening hand. Good card. Okay, luckily I drew the Sasuke Samurai. So let's go ahead and just normal summon Sasuke Samurai and attack. It was a Sangan. Kind of figured it was going to be something like that. What will he grab? Probably Magician of Faith, okay. He's got to have some way to get over the Sasuke Samurai then, because why would you why would you get Magician of Faith if it's just going to die to the monster? Breaker. Definitely just going to activate Breaker there and hit him for 16. So pretty decent trade. Ring for Breaker. I'll do it. Eats up his normal summon. Unfortunately, I have no spell traps right now, so my Magician of Faith is kind of dead. I shouldn't say no spell traps. I have spell traps. I just don't have spells that I want to activate. Snatch Steal is only good in some scenarios. I'm just going to push for damage. If it's Mirror Force, that sucks, but whatever. 500, and what's he want to do with this one? Sakuretsu Armor. Okay, I'll take it. And I think I'll set a Sakuretsu Armor of my own. Sometimes I like setting the Judgment with all my other backer. Like last game, you saw it was absolutely necessary for me to set all of my Judgments. This is just trading spell traps right now in the battle phase. Or just like 1-for-1 spell traps. He's used a Sakuretsu Armor, I've used a Sakuretsu Armor, he used a Breaker, I used my Ring on the Breaker. These are the games of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I like, where it's just like very, just 1-for-1, trading back and forth. Standby main, draw the Rhoda, activate the Rhoda. And I think the play is probably Donzalug. Now, this is where the Judgment may have been very good, just because I could stop any sort of spell trap that he has, but whatever. I didn't set it, so can't do anything about it now. It's another Sakuretsu Armor. And I almost am tempted. I'll set the Judgment just in case he has a huge push with Chaos Monsters or something. So I might just let him attack over this, and then I can Snatch Steal whatever he summons. Okay, I'm fine with this. Book of Moon's a pretty decent draw with the Faith in hand. Let's just go and attack. Book of Moon. I'm going to go ahead and I think activate Judgment on that. Because I'm up a game, I want to keep all the pressure I can. And let's go ahead and set. So we took the life point lead, and he just drew Thunder Dragon, so we might have the lights and darks engraved now, though the Magician of Faith also is a light, so that would have given it to him anyways. Sasuke Samurai, I mean, when it's been necessary, I feel like we've drawn it. Like, we have got some pretty good draws this game. Alright, so he's just going to banish the Sasuke Samurai. And this is good for us. Standby, main. Let's go ahead and snatch the Chaos Sorcerer. Okay, let's actually do some math here. Because 23 plus 3, 26, that would put him at 24 plus 4, 28. Okay, so even if I flip and get Rhoda, that would be at most, he'd be put at 1,300. So I think the play here is actually going to be just poking for as much damage as possible with these monsters. 23 and 12. And I keep the Book of Moon. In case he has like a heavy storm or something, I can just activate the Book of Moon on the Chaos Sorcerer. And yes, the Snatch Steal will get destroyed, but I'll keep the Chaos Sorcerer. Yep, he gains 1,000 from the Snatch Steal effect. It's mandatory, so you always want to remember that. Okay, and like this is when Book of Moon is good. Eats his own Snatch Steal. I lose mine, but I still keep the monster, so it's like I don't really lose it. Banish, banish, and unless it's BLS, nope, it's another Chaos Sorcerer. And he's choosing to... If I draw a Mystical Space Typhoon here, I think I might have game. It's a Flying Kamakiri. Okay, that's not Mystical Space Typhoon. Flip Summon. Declare. Try to take back Snatch Steal. Do I now... I think I... I mean, I could have game right now, but I haven't seen a bunch of spell traps. I think I'm going to... Basically, do I push for game and try to go like summon Flying Kamakiri, take the Snatch Steal, and hope it's not Mirror Force or Torrential? But no, I think I need to play it safe. I'm gonna flip summon. And then does he have a Torrential or anything? I'm gonna declare and banish that. And I think just end my turn there. I mean, if he has BLS right now, then he can just poke, and that would be game because of the life points we're at, but what do you want me to do? Sometimes that's just how it goes. Okay, so he has the Knight Assailant, which is okay. Tributes over for Thunder Dragon. Yep, and he's going to hit me for 1,300. Standby main. Let's go ahead and Snatch Steal the Thunder Dragon. And this is 26, so I have to go with the Flying Kamakiri. So now, this will eat Mirror Force, or it'll eat Torrential Tribute. Yeah, it's a Mirror Force. Okay. So I played that last turn, as I think correctly. Pretty safe. And I'll just have to end there. I mean, if he has a big monster, go burr. 1,400. Sasuke Samurai. Just gotta hope he doesn't have another monster. Sylphid would have been a good draw there. Or actually, no, Flying Kamakiri would have been the best. And, yeah. Okay, so he gets that game. Now, I think I go full goat control here. Or, like, a lot heavier goat control. The question is, what can I take out? I think that. A couple of those. One Sylphid. So I should take out both Sylphies. I really don't think they're doing too good. And yeah, I think this is it. Do I take out any other cards? I'm going to take out one Flying Kamakiri for a Dust Tornado. Let's go first. So first time that I'm going first this match. Again, very long match for you all. Decent opening hand. I mean, I shouldn't... Kind of more than decent. Pot of Greed makes any opening hands really good. Pot of Greed. Draw 2. One of us has had Pot of Greed or Graceful or something each game. To start, I should say. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and... Normal Zalug. Set Sasuke... Or Sakuretsu armor and end the turn. So... I mean, maybe Zalug normal is a little preemptive. Upstart, okay. But I'm kind of hoping I can bait him into summoning a monster, and then I can just Sakuretsu armor. If he has Spell and Trap removal, I guess then it still uses Spell and Trap removal. Discards a Sinister Serpent from the Graceful Charity, so he drew that or had it in his hand. And a Sangan, okay. Sangan, I guess, would have just gotten him the Sinister Serpent, so it's not nearly that great. And yeah, I'm assuming he's just going to target. Unfortunate, he did have the Breaker. That was probably the card I was most worried about there, because it could deal with the Battle Trap and the Zalug in one card. So maybe he'll set a couple of spells and traps here. He sets no spells and traps. Alright, I will just set 2 more cards and end my turn. Being Magician of Faith that I drew for turn and the Mirror Force that I kept in my hand from last. Nobleman a Crossout, of course. I guess he could just have had it in hand. How many... I do get rid of his 2 Magician of Faith, so either he's running 3 and it's in the hand, or he's only running 2, which I think is the optimal. Yeah, I'll eat 16. Dust Tornado. Okay, that's a nice card to draw. I'll set the Dust Tornado and end the turn. He does get the Sinister Serpent back to hand. He remembered that. Come on, just go one more monster. One more. He chooses not to. I mean, he's playing it correctly, I think, but... I'll hit the end phase. Hit that card. It was a Sakuretsu armor. Draw the Graceful Charity for turn. That's a always good draw. Rhoda, Book of Moon, Cyberjar. Okay, now what do I want to discard? Definitely Metamorphosis and... I honestly kind of wish I kept the... in the Sasuke Samurai. I kept the Dust Tornado in hand. But now I think I'm just going to set the Cyberjar and end my turn. Rhoda will be good next turn. He gets the Thunder Dragon. Luckily, unless he has BLS, he can't banish my face-down monster. Again, I just kind of... Anytime that you discard Thunder Dragon, I'm just like, alright, he has access to Chaos monsters now. So I just assume, can he banish stuff? But Chaos monsters, or Chaos Sorcerer cannot banish face-down monsters. The only saving grace that I have right now. I am kind of hoping that he attacks Cyberjar. Perfect. So, I get Exiled Force, and then I get a bunch of these cards to my hand. And he's going to get Night Assailant. Wait. Yeah, how'd he get 6 cards? Because he added 2 to hand. Log. Yeah, no, I just was a little confused. I think it's fine. I'm not sure how the Nobleman got banished. Maybe it was a misclick. So he's going to set the Spy, set a bunch of these cards. And... No, I'm going to have to Mirror Force that. I do think technically you get to randomize all these set monsters, so I'm going to play because I genuinely don't know. He's actually probably going to banish it right away. Yeah. Okay, I mean, this is pretty good for me because I have the TT next turn, and a Heavy Storm in hand right now, and a Judgment. So, like, I can kind of clear his board at will. And Scapegoats for defense. He's going to have to set a couple. Otherwise, he'll be discarding for hand size. And he actually, yeah, just discards the Sinister Serpent for hand size. Okay. I think then the play is going to be standby main, if it allows me to ever do so. I'm sorry that I didn't come up with, a bunch of stories to talk about while I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, but I didn't think this match was going to go on for 7 hours. Set 1, set 2, and set 3. And I'll end turn there. Rogeki break on the middle card. Okay, he hits Scapegoat. That's fine with me. Of all the cards to hit, basically I just didn't want him hitting the Judgment. I'll go ahead and mills the BLS. That is perfect to see. Gets a Book of Moon for his efforts from the Magical Merchant flip. Basically, I just didn't want to see Heavy Storm there. That would have been not good. He probably would have led with Heavy if he had it in his hand. He probably was looking for it with a Magical Merchant. No reason you would flip monsters into back row if you had the Heavy in your hand. He's seen the Mirror Force, so he knows that exists. I feel like you have to go for at least one more. Like, go for, set the spy that you have face down. I'd probably flip that. Jinzo. I'm going to TT. I feel like this is a good board to TT on. And I have a Judgment in case he does anything crazy. He Heavy Storms my Judgment. Okay, I mean, what's he got? Double or triple Chaos Monster? He's got one Chaos Monster. Two Chaos Monsters? Okay. It's 4,600 damage. So unless he's got maybe Ring of Destruction face down, which he easily could. So luckily I have Book of Moon available to me. So what do I want to do here? I think activate the Rhoda. No, I can't. Well, definitely activate Rhoda. Now the question is, what do I get? I think I get DD Warrior Lady and just set it face down. And I definitely keep a Book of Moon in hand for an end phase Ring of Destruction. Okay, he didn't have it. Absolutely cannot lose to a Ring of Destruction because I'm a bad player here. He's going to battle phase. And yeah, I'm just going to banish him. Alright. Do I want to Scapegoat end phase? Yeah, I think I'll end phase Goats, because if I get, a Metamorphosis, that is just very good for me. Solemn Judgment. Okay, it wasn't a Metamorphosis. Actually, I was going to say, I can get myself the, Sasuke Samurai 1 now, but I actually used the Rhoda for the DD Warrior Lady. I could Premature Burial, get back the Sasuke Samurai, and set the Chaos Sorcerer, the Book of Moon, and attack the Chaos Sorcerer and start poking for damage. But then I am pretty susceptible. I'm going to MST that back row. If it's a ring, he has to use it now, I would probably say. It was not. It was a Book of Moon of his own. So I have a book set. I think I go ahead and do the face down Book of Moon on, obviously, the Chaos Sorcerer. Activate Premature Burial, paying my 800 and getting Sasuke Samurai and attacking over the Chaos Monster. I think literally my win condition might be deck out right here. I don't see myself doing enough damage. I'm thinking I'm going to have to Solemn Judgment that flip. So it'll still be main phase. And that would be 100 life points. Still main. So he didn't have a monster to summon. Delinquent Duo. Just have to put this to defense and end the turn. Basically. I mean, if he gets Ring of Destruction, which, actually, I still have the Book of Moon, so... Book of Moon, I basically have to save for if he gets Ring. Well, I'm going to activate the Book of Moon now because he's targeting it. And these will both go to grave. Okay. Now I guess I will... I'll wait a turn to activate Heavy because he might have one more card to set. And okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Activate the Heavy now. And there goes the Ring. Okay, that was perfect. And I guess now I can go ahead and set the Call of the Haunted. Sakuretsu armor. I mean, I just have to go through cards here. Just gotta keep my defenses alive. Koichi, so he's just trying to go through his deck. End phase, I mean, Tsukiyomi will go to hand. Yep, I'll let him set that card as well. Metamorphosis, okay, so this is where it starts going good for me. If he allows this to go through. Torrential Tribute, okay. To grave, to grave, to grave, to grave, to grave. Next Alroda. Getting myself this little boy. And attack. End my turn. I mean, I could Call the Haunted, but I think I have to keep the Call the Haunted for, like, extreme, just... Okay, I mean, move. Battle phase, Sakuretsu armor. I have to use it. I mean, I basically eat a snatch deal for my Sakuretsu armor. Okay, he Book of Moons, my own monster, whatever. I think that's fine. Standby main, so it's 1200. So I think I have to go ahead and activate Call of the Haunted here, targeting the Zalug, and poke. Mirror Force to grave. To grave. And I just have to set... I mean, I could have, in, I guess, theory... I think he has game here. It depends how he plays it. If he plays it aggressive, he wins. If he plays it safe, he loses. Or it goes on for another turn. He flips it. Okay. I mean, no matter what, whether he does the coin flip or not, it dies. So it doesn't matter. I can just send it to grave. Okay, Scapegoat. I mean, if you need to find a way to win, this is how you do it. You just stall. So it'll buy me a turn. The Scapegoat, he gets through one token. Solemn Judgment is a great card because I will be able to stop his Tsukiyomi. And nope, he's just going to go to battle phase. And normal summon main 1. End turn. Just summon my Sasuke Samurai number 4. I was like, I could attack, but I think our both effects would trigger. He'd actually be the second effect to trigger because I'm attacking him, and turn player I'd go first. So, interestingly enough, if he attacks, I would go second to this time because I'm not turn player. He goes ahead and... I'm actually going to... I'm literally going to Judgment the normal summon of a Knight Assailant. The normal summon. He's saying I'm slow. He literally went, summon battle phase? I'm like, what? Sir, what do you want from me? Ring of Destruction. I will change this to defense and end my turn. It still will go off if he lets it happen. Pod agreed. I win. I mean... Sir, that's illegal. That would be a game loss. Greed would have to fully resolve, and you don't have the cards in deck. I mean, you cannot activate Greed with one card in deck. You have to be... I mean, you can, but I think it would just literally mean you lose the game. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, maybe you're allowed to activate it and, like, not fully resolve it, but I'm pretty sure you have to do something. And what's he going to set? Mine? Okay. So you're just going to attack one. I mean, you can't get over both. Okay, he's calling heads. It would flip, of course, but it landed on tails. And I won. Okay. Holy crap, guys. That was literally the longest match I think I've ever done in GOAT format. The fact that this wind deck just beat Chaos and, like, I think pretty good Chaos. It didn't seem like it was like a crappy version. Wow. Holy crap. And I love the way I won. Literally having to go to deck out. I mean, it shows you you got to do whatever you got to do to win in GOAT format sometimes. If you like this video, I think this video deserves a like, frankly. It's not every day that you see wind beating Chaos. You know what? This deserves another sip of my hard seltzer. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.